beginning, before time had a name, there was only the yawning void called Ginnungagap. It was not darkness, nor light, nor even emptiness as we understand it. It was possibility, silent, formless, without direction. To the north of this void lay Niflheim, a realm of ice, mist, and biting cold. To the south burned Muspelheim, a world of fire and unbearable heat. No borders separated these realms from the void. They simply were, in perfect opposition. When the frozen rivers of Niflheim met the sparks and embers of Muspelheim across the void, something impossible occurred. Ice melted, fire cooled, and from those drips of thawed rime rose Ymir, the first giant. Ymir was neither god nor mortal. He was something much older. As he slept, new giants formed from his sweat, multiplying in the twilight world of early creation. From the same melting ice came Audumla, the cosmic cow. Her milk nourished Ymir and sustained the newborn giants. As she licked the salty ice for sustenance, a new shape emerged beneath her tongue and breath. First hair, then a head, then an entire form. This was Buri, progenitor of the gods. Buri fathered a son named Bor, and Bor took as his wife a giantess named Besla. From their union came 3 sons who would shape everything that followed: Odin, Vili, and Ve. Odin, whose hunger for knowledge would one day cost him an eye. Vili, whose gift was will. Ve, whose gift was sanctity and order. The 3 brothers looked upon the giants and saw a world stuck between chaos and stasis. And so they rose against Ymir, their ancient forebear. In the first cosmic act of violence, the brothers slew the giant and dragged his immense corpse into the void. From Ymir's blood came the oceans and rivers. From his flesh came the land. From his bones came mountains and cliffs. From his teeth and shattered skull fragments came stones. And from his skull itself, the gods shaped the vault of the sky, placing sparks from Muspelheim high above to become the stars. They built the world as a sphere and set its borders with great care. Around the world they placed Jörmungand, the Midgard serpent, whose coils encircled all lands and seas. At the edge of the world, they raised a great wall from Ymir's eyebrows, sealing the new realm and calling it Midgard, the middle enclosure. But the world was not yet complete. The sun and moon needed stewards, and so the gods appointed 2 beings to guide them: the siblings, Sul and Mani. They rode across the heavens in chariots, pursued by wolves who would one day catch them, ushering in the end of days. In the center of creation stood Yggdrasil, the world tree, a massive ash whose branches reached beyond the sky and whose roots plunged into realms of frost, fire, and mystery. Yggdrasil connected the 9 worlds, binding existence into a single system of life, death, and fate. As the tree grew, so too did the realms it touched. Asgard, home of the Aesir gods, rose high above. Vanaheim, realm of the Vanir, prospered with fertility and magic. Alfheim held the light elves, bright and strange. Svartalfheim, or Nidavellir, was home to dwarves, the master craftsmen. Jotunheim, land of giants, stretched across wilderness and vast mountains. Niflheim held the icy primordial rivers, while Muspelheim burned with fire and war. Below Midgard lay Hel, realm of the dead, ruled by the half-dead daughter of Loki. And all throughout the darkness of the roots lurked Nidhogg, the great serpent who gnawed at the tree's foundation. With the world prepared, Odin and his brothers walked along the shore where waves met land. There they found 2 fallen trees, an ash and an elm. They shaped them into figures. Odin breathed life into them. Vili granted them consciousness and movement. They gifted speech, hearing, and sight. Thus the first humans were born, Ask and Embla. The gods placed them within Midgard to live, reproduce, and struggle beneath the turning of the stars. But the worlds were not peaceful for long. The gods themselves were divided. The Aesir, the gods of war and sovereignty, clashed with the Vanir, gods of magic and fertility. For reasons lost to time, the two sides met in open conflict. Neither could win, and so they traded hostages, bound oaths, and ended the war not with victory, but with unity. Freya, and Njord came to Asgard, while the Aesir took their own in return. From their peace came the figure of Kvasir, the wisest of all beings, born from the saliva of both pantheons. His blood would later be brewed into the mead of poetry, a drink that grants inspiration and the ability to craft verse. During the Golden Age that followed, the gods built the great halls of Asgard. Odin ruled from Valaskjalf, seated upon his throne, Hlidskjalf, from which he could observe all 9 realms. His hall of the slain, Valhalla, grew tall and magnificent, its rafters armored with shields and spears. Valkyries rode to and from the battlefield, choosing which warriors would die and which would be claimed for the Allfather to prepare for the final battle at the end of time. Thor, son of Odin and champion of mankind, wielded Mjolnir, a hammer forged by dwarves that always returned to the hand that threw it. He defended gods and humans from giants, trolls, and serpents that sought to undo the world. His journeys across the 9 realms filled legends that would endure for centuries. Freya, goddess of desire, wealth, and magic, presided over her own hall, Sessrumnir, taking half the slain for herself. Her tears formed gold. She rode a chariot drawn by cats and practiced cedar, a form of magic capable of shaping fate. Loki, born among giants but adopted into the company of the gods, was brilliant, charming, and ultimately catastrophic. He could change shape and gender, charm enemies into allies, awe and sow discord with a whisper. Many of the gods' greatest troubles began with him, and many of their greatest treasures did as well. As the worlds matured, the dwarves forged wonders beneath the earth. They made Odin's spear, Gungnir, which never missed its mark. They made Freya's ship, Skidbladnir, which could fold into a pouch and still carry all the gods. They forged the golden boar Gullinbusti, whose bristles glowed in the dark. And to Thor, they gave Mjolnir, the hammer that became the most feared weapon in the cosmos. Yet even during prosperity, the seeds of destruction were being sown. Loki's children, monstrous and strange, foretold doom. With the giantess Angerboda, Loki fathered 3 beings whom Odin feared greatly. The first was Fenrir, the wolf destined to break bonds and devour gods. The second was Jörmungand, the world serpent, cast into the sea to circle Midgard. The third was Hel, sent to rule the dead in the cold and shadowed realm beneath the earth. Odin, in his wisdom or paranoia, sought to restrain what fate had already written. Fenrir was chained with magical fetters, each stronger than the last, until at last the dwarves crafted Gleipnir, a ribbon made from the sound of a cat's footstep, the beard of a woman, the breath of a fish, and other impossibilities. Fenrir submitted only on the condition that one god place a hand within his jaws as a gesture of trust. Tyr, the one-handed god of law and war, accepted. When the ribbon held, Fenrir bit off Tyr's hand, but even gods could not escape destiny. Odin sacrificed himself upon Yggdrasil, pierced by his spear, hanging for 9 nights without food or drink. in order to learn the secrets of the runes, symbols of magic, fate, and power. He sacrificed his eye at Mimir's well to gain vision beyond sight. Knowledge demanded pain, and Odin paid every cost asked of him. In time, humans spread across Midgard. They built homes, ploughed fields, hunted, fought, and prayed. They honored the Norns, the weavers of fate, who carved destinies into the tree's bark. They feared the winter winds, the howling wolves, and the storms thrown by Thor's hammer. They accepted that even the gods would die. The Norse cosmos was not built to last forever. It marched toward a definite end. That end was called Ragnarok. Ragnarok was not a mere battle, nor a cataclysm, nor a single moment. It was a sequence of inevitable events, each locked into fate long before the first star shone in the heavens. It would begin with signs. First would come the death of Baldur, the shining son of Odin, beloved by all. Through deception, Loki guided the blind god Hoda to slay Baldur with a sprig of mistletoe, the only object in the world not sworn to do him no harm. Baldur descended to hell, and from that day, the gods knew the world had begun its long decline. After Baldur's death came the Fimbulwinter, 3 successive winters with no summer in between. Snow would fall from all directions. Wolves would devour the sun and moon, and men would turn against one another. Families would fracture. Society would collapse, and Midgard would descend into bloodshed. When the roosters of the realms crowed their terrible warnings, the last act would begin. The earth would tremble. Mountains would crumble. The seas would rise. Ymir would writhe from the depths, poisoning the sky with its venom. Fenrir would break free from his bindings and charge across the land. The giants would march from Jotunheim, and from the fiery realm of Muspelheim, Surt would lead his flaming legions across the Bifrost Bridge, shattering it beneath their feet. The gods would rally. Odin would ride at the head of the Einherjar, the warriors slain in battle and chosen for this final war. Thor would confront the world serpent. Freyr would face Surt, weaponless. Tyr would battle the Houndgarm. Heimdall and Loki, once allies and rivals, would strike each other down. The outcomes were known long before the first blow. Odin would fall to Fenrir. Fenrir would fall to Odin's son, Vidar. Thor would slay the serpent, but take 9 steps before collapsing from venom. Surt would sweep his sword across the world, and fire would consume everything. The roots of the tree, the halls of the gods, the farms of Midgard, and even the oceans themselves. And then, silence. But Norse mythology did not end with silence. In that quiet, after the flames died and the smoke cleared, a new world would rise. Green once more, fertile once more. 2 humans, Lif and Lifthrasir, would survive by hiding in the forest of the world tree, nourished by its dew. They would repopulate the world. The sun's daughter would take her mother's place in the sky. Some gods would return, Baldur among them, and a new age would begin. This cycle, creation, struggle, destruction, renewal, was not a metaphor for the Norse. It was the architecture of reality itself. Time was not a straight line, but a great turning wheel. Myth became memory. Memory became tradition, and tradition became story, passed from skalds to kings, from villagers warming themselves at hearths to explorers crossing oceans. These tales were not written for comfort. They did not promise salvation or eternal joy. They offered something clearer, sharper, and more honest, that all things, even gods, must face an end, and that courage matters not because it prevents death, but because it persists despite it. In the modern world, we often simplify these myths into symbols: Thor's hammer, Odin's ravens, Valkyries on flying steeds. But behind the symbols lies a worldview shaped by cold winters, dangerous seas, and the acceptance that life is short and fate is absolute. The Norse sagas endured long after their temples fell, surviving in the words of Snorri Sturluson, in the Icelandic Eddas, and in the carved stones and runes scattered across Scandinavia. Today, they run beneath our culture like an underground river, feeding novels, films, games, and modern faiths. Yggdrasil still stands in the imagination. The ravens still whisper, and in the distance, the wolves still chase the sun. For in the end, the story of Norse mythology is not just the story of gods and giants. It is the story of a people who looked at the world, saw its harshness without illusion, and chose to meet it with strength, wit, and awe. And in that choice, their myths have outlived their empires. Begin by finding a position that allows your body to settle. You may lie down, recline, or sit with support. Allow the spine to lengthen without tension. Let your face soften. Let your jaw loosen. And begin to breathe gently through the nose. As the breath enters, feel it cool at the tip of your nostrils. As it leaves, allow the body to become heavier. No need to control the breath. Just observe its shape. In this quiet space, we will travel to a world before worlds. We will visit ancient realms, meet timeless figures, and watch a cosmos unfold. There is nothing required of you now except to listen, to breathe, and to drift. In the beginning, there was Ginnungagap, a yawning void without sky or land, without heat or cold. Breathe in and imagine that vastness. Breathe out and settle deeper into it. To the north of the void lay Niflheim, realm of ice and mist. See the frost spreading across empty darkness. Hear the distant crack of frozen rivers. Let the breath cool in your chest as you picture it. To the south burned Muspelheim, realm of fire. Sparks drifted like stars. Great rivers of flame moved without sound. Feel a gentle warmth settle along your arms and chest. Not threatening, just alive. Between fire and ice, the void stirred. And from their meeting rose Ymir, the first giant, wrapped in mystery. Allow the image to form without force. Shapes do not need to be exact. Myth does not demand precision, only presence. A cosmic cow, Audhumla, emerged from the melting frost, licking salt from the ice. As she fed, she revealed Buri, ancestor of the gods. With your next breath, imagine ancient forms taking shape from nothing, slowly, peacefully, without haste. Buri's bloodline produced 3 sons, Odin, Vili, and Ve. With each inhale, picture them rising from the ice. With each exhale, feel your body sink into warmth and support. When the brothers slayed Ymir and shaped the world from his body, no violence is needed in your mind. Only imagine transformation, rivers forming, mountains rising, stars appearing above, the world becoming ordered and complete. Yggdrasil, the great world tree, grew at the center of all things. Its branches reached upward, its roots reached downward. With your breath, imagine yourself beneath its leaves. You are steady. You are rooted. You are safe. As you inhale, feel the crown of the tree above you. As you exhale, feel the roots below you. Between them, you are balanced. The 9 realms unfolded around the tree. Asgard above, shining with halls and armor. Vanaheim, fertile and gentle. Alfheim, glowing with light elves. Jotunheim, wild with giants. Midgard, where humans would one day live. Niflheim's ice, Muspelheim's flame, Svartalfheim's forges, and Hell's shadowed halls beneath the roots. No need to remember them. Just let them pass like scenery outside a train window. Myth is a landscape you travel through, not a test you must study for. Ask and Embla emerged from two trees on the shore. The gods gave them breath, thought, and speech. Let your own breath remind you of that gift. You inhale, you exhale, life continues. The gods built Asgard. Odin sat upon his throne and looked across the world. Thor travelled with Mjolnir in hand, protector of both gods and men. Freya walked with magic, choosing half the slain for her hall. The dwarves forged treasures. The humans learned to live beneath the turning stars. All the while, Yggdrasil stood. Its leaves whispered. Its roots drank from sacred wells. Allow your breath to settle into that rhythm. Steady, patient, enduring. Now imagine the Norns at the base of the tree. 3 women drawing water, carving runes, shaping fate. Urd for what has been, Verdandi for what is, Skuld for what may come. Their presence is calm, not fearful. Fate is not violence. It is simply the shape of time. With your next inhale, picture the well of memory. With your next exhale, release whatever your mind insists on holding tonight. The Norns do not fight the future. They let it unfold. There came a golden age among the gods. They drank together. They travelled. They built. They bargained. Swords were sheathed. The worlds were in balance. Let your breath lengthen slightly here. Inhale for 4. Hold for 1. Exhale for 6. Repeat once more. This pattern tells the nervous system that danger has passed. But the Norse knew that peace does not last forever. And yet, in these myths, even endings have beauty. Baldur, the Bright One, fell without warning. His death marked the first sign that time was shifting. The Norse did not flinch from impermanence. They acknowledged it. They prepared for it. They folded it into their worldview like a season. In your own body, notice that nothing is static. Breath comes. Breath goes. Thoughts arrive. Thoughts leave. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to judge them. You don't have to fix them. Like Baldur's passing, they simply occur. Then came the long winter, Fimbulwinter, 3 years without summer. Yet even in this image, there is no need for fear, only a sense of quiet snow falling across a darkened world. In the stillness, imagine yourself wrapped in warm furs, beside a quiet hearth, watching flakes drift through the night. When Ragnarok began, it did so with sound, a roar, a cracking of ice, a shudder of roots. And yet for you, in this meditation, Ragnarok is not a catastrophe. It is a reminder that endings create openings. Giants marched. Wolves ran. The serpent rose from the deep. But the gods rode to meet their fate without hesitation. The Norse did not ask for immortality. They asked for the courage to meet the hour that was theirs. With your breath, imagine stepping into your own challenges with the same steadiness. Not today, not tomorrow, but whenever they come. The fires of Surt consumed the world. The tree fell silent. The sky went dark. And then, slowly, patiently, the smoke cleared. From the roots of Yggdrasil emerged 2 humans, Lif and Lifthrasir. They survived by drinking dew and hiding among the trees. They would repopulate the earth and begin again. This is the quiet lesson beneath the ashes. After destruction comes renewal. After winter comes spring. After darkness comes dawn. Let your body absorb that without commentary. Let your breath lengthen again. Inhale for 4. Hold for 1. Exhale for 8. Repeat once more. In the renewed world, green shoots rose where fire once burned. Rivers cleared. Animals returned. The sun's daughter took her mother's place in the sky. And some gods, gentle and wise, returned to walk the earth. In this new age, there is no rush. There is no war. There is time. Let that idea settle into the nervous system. There is time. Whatever today asked of you is finished. Whatever tomorrow demands has not yet begun. Right now, you exist between those worlds like Ginnungagap itself, not empty, but full of possibility. Breathe into that space. Inhale gently. Exhale fully. Allow the limbs to grow heavier. Allow the eyes to soften or close completely. No gods need to be remembered. No names must be recited. Myth is not homework. Myth is a place to rest, to observe, to wonder. If thoughts drift in, treat them as travelers. Let them arrive. Let them move on. Nothing in this moment requires your engagement. As you settle towards sleep, imagine the branches of Yggdrasil above you once more. The leaves whisper, the roots hum. Somewhere, a raven circles. Somewhere else, a river runs beneath ice. The worlds turn, and you do not need to turn with them. You are allowed to be still. The Norse knew that all stories lead to endings, but they also knew that endings lead to beginnings. In this cycle, you are safe. You are welcome. You are unhurried. Let the breath fade to its natural rhythm. Let the body sink toward the earth. Let the mind unwind. If sleep wants you, let it take you. If wakefulness remains, let it sit beside you without conflict. Both states are part of the same tree, fed by the same roots. Now rest beneath the boughs of Yggdrasil. The worlds are quiet. Your body is heavy, and nothing is required of you now. Begin to drift.